सब कौमें मिलकर लड़ती हैं, क्या लिखूं प्रताप की गाथा, कलम की स्याही कम पड़ती है।
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Mind of Master. Today, I have brought to you the biography of one of the greatest legend Indian history has ever seen. So let's begin. Birth of the Rana. Maharana Pratap was born on 9th May 1540 in Kila Kumbhalgarh. He was the son of Uday Singh II and Maharani Jayawanta Bai. Early life. Pratap was very popular between his people. From childhood, Pratap had developed amazing administrative skills. Maharana had no interests in royalty and luxuries. He always cared for the welfare of his subjects. Capture of Chittor 1567. When Pratap was 27 years of age, Akbar attacked Chittor. A meeting was held inside the fort by the Rajputs. It was decided that they will not surrender, come what may. But the condition for this would be that Uday Singh shall leave the fort for carrying on the battle when the time was right. So Uday Singh and his family shifted to Gauganda. But the commanders still held the battle for 4 months. Even Akbar was facing great difficulty in winning the fort. He had understood by then that winning the fort from the Rajputs was not an easy task. Then, on 23rd February 1568, Akbar unknowingly kills the Rajput commander Jaimal Rathore. This is a very interesting story. On 23rd February, Akbar sees a man standing far away on a fort. He is not aware of the fact that that person is Jaimal Rathore, who is commanding the Rajput army. But he picks his gun and aims. It is said that Akbar never missed his aim, and the bullet shot costs the person his life. This very person was Jaimal Rathore. And after the commander was dead, there was nothing else left. So Akbar finally won Chittor. All the people inside the fort prepared for the final assault, and the last man in the garrison died fighting. The women performed Johar. Maharana's accession to the throne was also not an easy one. Pratap's younger brother, Jagmal, born to his father Uday Singh and stepmother Dhirabai, was decided to be the king due to the wishes of Rani Dhirabai and Jagmal himself. Pratap had no disagreement. He rather respected his father's will. But the ministers and courtiers of Mewar strongly opposed this decision, knowing Pratap was the only one worthy and capable of ruling Mewar. Hence, after the death of Uday Singh, Pratap was crowned the new Rana of Mewar. By this time, the Rajputs had already lost their capital of Chittor. But Maharana was one of the greatest rulers of Mewar, and he captured many territories back. The warrior. Maharana was a very physically fit warrior. He had a height of 7 feet and 5 inches. He carried a total weight of 360 kgs to war, with his spear alone weighing 80 kgs, and his own weight was 110 kgs. Such was the physical strength of Maharana. Akbar's attempts. As soon as Maharana ascended the throne, Akbar saw this as an opportunity for an alliance with his long-term enemies, the Mewari Rajputs. He had sent a total of 6 diplomatic missions to Pratap for making him agree to his suzerain. Maharana respected all of Akbar's diplomats and took great care of his guests, but he never accepted the rule of Akbar. Neither did Maharana disregard anyone. This mission of Akbar was so ambitious and regarded that for once he even offered Pratap half of India in exchange of Mewar. But Maharana refused to leave his kingdom. Last of these missions was headed by Man Singh, the Rajput ruler of Amber. There is a very interesting story behind this incident as well. As Man Singh came for an alliance with Pratap, he organized a dinner. Everyone was present except for Maharana himself. Man Singh felt great insult by this action of Maharana. The reason for the absence of Maharana was that he was annoyed and was against the actions of those Rajputs who joined hands with the Mughals. Mughals who wanted the submission of all Rajputs. After this, Man Singh was convinced that Pratap will never surrender. But Akbar still kept trying. And after his sixth mission, that was headed by his finance minister Raja Todarmal, also failed. The line was drawn. War couldn't be resisted any further.
आजादी का दीपक हरदम जलता है भीमाड़ में, नहीं बुझा ये दीपक वर्षा आंधी की बौछार में। हल्दी घाटी के आंगन में शूरों की हुंकार उठी, आजादी की रक्षा के हित वीरों की तलवार उठी। चेतक पर चढ़ करके जिसने लिया हाथ में भाला था, वीर प्रताप जन्म से ही आजादी का मतवाला था, आजादी का मतवाला था, आजादी का मतवाला था।
Why was the war needed? The war had anyways become inevitable after the diplomacy had failed. But the real question is, why did diplomacy fail? And more importantly, why was Mewar so important to Akbar? Let's answer these questions. The reasons for the failing of diplomacy were historical rivalry. Rana Sanga, the ruler of Mewar and the grandfather of Maharana Pratap, and Babur, the first Mughal emperor and the grandfather of Akbar, had fought the famous Battle of Khanwa. Sanga refused to accept Mughal authority after the first Battle of Panipat and challenged Babur to a battle. Also, Uday Singh offended the Mughal authority by giving shelter to Baz Bahadur of Malwa. It was Pratap's dream and desire to win back Chittor. The next reason being the Rajputana. Rajputs were fearless warriors known for their courage and bravery. Though most Rajputs accepted Akbar's suzerain, but the rulers of Mewar refused to surrender under any circumstances and continued their struggles. The rulers of Mewar held the standards of the Rajputs high. It was the attitude of the Rajputs to never give up or surrender. Mewar's importance. Till now, we talked of why Mewaris resisted Mughal dominance. But the next question is, why did the Mughals want to have Mewar? Apart from the fact that Akbar wanted to rule over whole of India and wanted to be the Jahanpana of Hindustan, Mewar was also very important for all trade routes from western seaports. Realizing this soon, Akbar had captured Chittor in 1567. But the hilly and mountainous region of Mewar was still in Pratap's control. Akbar intended to secure the trade routes from Gujarat, and so he wanted the whole of Mewar to be under his dominance. Also, having trade pass through Pratap's territory was very risky. Hence, Akbar had interests in capturing Mewar. All this led to the Battle of Haldighati, which brought the Mughals and the Rajputs face to face. Finally, after all other doors closed, on June 18, 1578, took place the fiercest battle in Indian history. It is said that even today, if you would dig a bit in the soil of Haldighati, you shall find blood and swords. Battle of Haldighati is regarded as the second most fierce battle fought in Indian history after the Battle of Kalinga. Armies. Pratap's army consisted of only around 20,000 men, while Akbar had a huge army of 80,000 men. The figures of the armies divide many historians even today, but it is a fact of common interest that Pratap's army was highly outnumbered. Pratap received support from the Afghans and the Bhil tribes of Aravalli Mountains, whereas Akbar received support from many Rajputs. His army's commander was Man Singh of Amber himself. Pratap has shifted his capital to Kumbhalgarh for the war of Haldighati. Maharana himself stood with his army, whereas Akbar personally never marched to the battleground. The reason for Akbar not coming for the battle was given as the fear of his life. He feared his life in a one-on-one combat against Pratap. Akbar had a height of 5 feet and 7 inches approximately, but when compared to Pratap's height, he was no match. He knew that if by any chance he faced Maharana, he would easily be defeated. Formation: Man Singh queued all the Mughal chieftains to the right flank and deployed Ghazni Khan and Rao Lon Karan on the left. He also deployed all the cavalrymen in a line at the back. He also placed some soldiers in the Altamash or the advance guard. The army of Mewar fought forming three parallel contingents, where the Rana took the front at the center. The king of Gwalior was posted on the right flank, while the Bhil tribes were deployed on the left. This figure gives a tentative overview of how the armies were placed. As the battle begins, the Rajputs go onto the offensive mode and surprise the Mughal army. They initially drive the enemies 16 kilometers away from the river. However, the Mughal army returns. Seeing the weakening of the Mughal army, Man Singh himself takes the center. But Pratap and his army's courage and strong wills make situations for Man Singh no easy. Here, the huge number of Mughal armies plays a role. Next, Pratap starts displaying his combat skills with swords in each of his hands and demolishes the first line of the Mughal army. Pratap sees Man Singh and progresses towards him. On his way, Pratap done what no one had did before. Witnesses of the incident must have skipped a heartbeat. With one of his swords, Pratap separates the much feared Behlol Khan into two. A wave of excitement runs through the Mewari army. But their high spirits couldn't do much to the Mughal army, and the Mewaris were going weaker by the attacks of the Mughal archers. Maharana had only one option now, and that was to destroy the center and the commander. In this case, Man Singh, of course. So Maharana, with great determination and bravery, marched. That is, marched on his horse towards Man Singh. Chetak, Pratap's famous horse, plays a very crucial role here. He climbs over the elephant on which Man Singh was sitting. Imagine a horse climbs an elephant. What a moment that would have been. Maharana aims his famous bhala at Man Singh, and with all his force and strength he throws. This was the decisive point of the battle. What beautiful folk songs. Anyways, Maharana misses his aim by half an inch, and Man Singh manages to save his life. But this doesn't end here. Maharana had taken a great risk, and as you would have guessed, he was surrounded by the Mughal army. This is when Man Singh Jhala, one of Pratap's supporters, asks him to escape from the battlefield, and he reasoned his demand by the fact that the Rajputs could not take the risk of anything happening to their leader. With this, Jhala takes the crown from Maharana and places it on his head to make the Mughals feel that he was the leader. This later costs him his life, but his sacrifice pays off and Pratap returns safe from the battlefield. But it wasn't just Jhala who sacrificed his life. There was someone else, because of whom Pratap survived. It was not a human, it was Chetak, Maharana's legendary horse. When Chetak climbed over the elephant, he had badly injured one of his legs, because in war the Mughals fixed swords on the trunks of their elephants, and the one on Man Singh's elephant had almost cut one of Chetak's legs. But this did not make him compromise with his speed one bit. He ran at the speed of winds, probably even faster, and jumped over a 22 feet canal, which assured that the Mughal army couldn't chase any further. After he secured his master, Chetak died. Pratap loved Chetak more than his own son and cried a lot on his death. His sacrifice is still remembered, and his loyalty towards his master makes him a true legend. Another story was about Pratap's elephant, Ram Prasad. Seeing Ram Prasad's potential, Akbar wanted to own him, and in the Battle of Haldi Ghati, he was captured. Akbar ordered to take utmost care of the elephant and feed him as much food as he likes. But to Akbar's surprise, Ram Prasad ate not even a single bite, nor did he drink a sip of water, in loyalty of his master, and on the 18th day gave away his life. To this, Akbar is believed to have commented, "The one whose elephant didn't bow to me, how will I ever make that Maharana bow to me?" Anyhow, back to our story. After Pratap was safe, his brother Shakti Singh, who had left Maharana to join Akbar, somehow realized his mistake and returned to his older brother, and is said he even offered Pratap his horse to escape after Chetak had died. The outcome of the Battle of Haldi Ghati is uncertain. Till now, some sources say that the Mughals won this battle, while others claim this to be an inconclusive one. Not long from now, the Rajasthan government announced that the books now shall mention Maharana Pratap as the winner. Post Haldi Ghati. The struggles of freedom did not end with Haldi Ghati. Maharana was determined to free Chittor and maintain his independence, and this did not change the slightest throughout his life. He had a pledge that said, "Until I free Chittor, I shall eat in a leaf plate and sleep on beds of straws." He continued Guerrilla warfare, and even though Chittor remained in Mughal domination, by 1584 he managed to win back many territories that were lost before. This can be signified by the Battle of Divar, where 36,000 Mughals had surrendered. Before this, Between this time, rumors spread that Maharana was surrendering to Akbar. The story goes that Pratap, anguished at the state of his subjects, was beginning to lose hope in his spirits in fighting Akbar. One day, as Pratap and his family were refugees in the jungles, a dog stole away with the grass roti his son was eating. It is said that this cut into Pratap's heart deeply. He began to have doubts of his resolute refusal to submit to the Mughals. Perhaps in one of these moments of self-doubt, Maharana Pratap wrote a letter to Akbar demanding a mitigation of his hardship. Akbar, overjoyed with the indication of Pratap's submission, showed the letter to Prince Prithviraj, a well-literate Rajput at his court. Prithviraj was astonished on hearing this and took Akbar's permission to send a letter to Pratap, ostensibly to ascertain the fact of his submission, but really with a view to prevent it. He wrote the now famous couplets that said, "The hopes of the Hindu rest on the Hindu, yet the Rana forsakes them. But for Pratap, all would be placed on the same level by Akbar. For our chiefs have lost their valor, and our females their honor. Akbar is the broker in the market of our race. He has purchased all but the son of Uday. He is beyond his price." What true Rajput would part with honor for 9 days? Yet how many have bartered it? Will Chittor come to this market? Though Patta has squandered away with wealth, yet he has preserved this treasure. Despair has driven man to this market to witness their dishonor. From such infamy, the descendant of Hamir alone has been preserved. The world asks, from where does the concealed aid of Pratap emanate? None but the soul of manliness and his sword. The broker in the market of men will one day be surpassed. He cannot live forever. Then will our race come to Pratap for the seed of the Rajputs to sow in our desolate land. To him all look for its preservation, then its purity may again become resplendent. This was enough for strengthening Maharana's initial but recurrent intention, and after this he never surrendered to Akbar. Death of the undefeated warrior. Pratap died of injuries sustained in a hunting accident. He died at Chavand on 19th January 1597, aged 56. He was succeeded by his eldest son, Amar Singh. On his deathbed, Pratap told his son never to submit to the Mughals and to win Chittor back. Even with his last breath, Pratap maintained his independence. Do what may, you cannot forget the great Rana of Mewar. When the news of the death of Pratap reached Akbar, he literally cried. He even wrote a letter stating the bravery of Maharana. Pratap was a real hero who never surrendered under any circumstances. He knew that winning a war raised from a mighty emperor like Akbar, who had the support of many Rajputs, oceans of army, and endless resources, was not easy. But still, simply for the sake of his principles and to maintain his freedom, Pratap took the challenge head on. So great was the spirit of Pratap that be it animals, his people, or even his enemies, none could deny to his greatness.
वीर प्रताप के जीवन की देखो ये अमर कहानी है। आने वाली नस्लों को ये गौरव कथा सुनानी है। वीर प्रताप के जीवन की देखो ये अमर कहानी है। आने वाली नस्लों को ये गौरव कथा सुनानी है। आजादी कायम रखने को जीवन भर संघर्ष किया। आजादी कायम रखने को जीवन भर संघर्ष किया। अपने उसूलों की खातिर हर सुख को जिसने त्याग दिया। अपने उसूलों की खातिर हर सुख को जिसने त्याग दिया। सूरजवंशी कुल के सूरज की अजब कहानी है। सूरजवंशी कुल के सूरज की अजब कहानी है। वीर प्रताप के जीवन की देखो ये अमर कहानी है।
This was the story of the life of Maharana. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please share this video with everyone you know. Let us all give Pratap the respect he always deserved. Thank you.